Good evening everybody and welcome back to TTTV. This is TTL F1 season number 13 and round number 5, which takes us to the Spanish Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the box tonight, a lovely little surprise for me, is Steph Seymour. Steph, how are you tonight?
Hello, Kieran. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's a very surprise to be here, but it's always great to be here as well with you, Kieran. I'm not too bad. Looking forward to tonight's race in Spain. How are you, my dear sir?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Obviously, the news broke this morning that we sadly lost Charlie Whiting, who was the FIA director, safety delegate, and technical delegate for the sport. And he's been in the sport for a long time. First joining the sport in 1977, joining Hesketh Racing. And following the demise of that team, he moved over with Bernie Eccleston at the Brabham team. He'd stayed there for the next decade. And he also became chief mechanic for Nelson Piquet, who went on to win the Drivers' Championship in 1981 and 1983. In 1988, though, Whiting became technical delegate to the Formula One of the sport's governing body, the FIA, and then in 1997 was then appointed FIA director and safety delegate, and he was responsible for the track and car safety, working alongside Sid Watkins, the late Sid Watkins, as well as the technical and procedural regulations of the sport, and for starting the races in fact as well. He did so much for the sport. He was a very passionate man, and later on in the Formula One career that he had, at the end of the 2017 season, videos started emerging of the debriefs and briefing rooms that Charlie Whiting would host, and you could almost feel like the drivers knew not to step out of line. They knew their place. They knew Charlie Whiting was the be-all and end-all, and couldn't have been a nicer guy. Obviously, we have the controversies in the past, like the 2005 United States Grand Prix, but one thing that has to be said is the safety that he's introduced as well. Most recently, the halo. It was met with a lot of criticism when it was first introduced in the sport in 2018, but now it's gone on to potentially save any serious injury to Charles Leclerc at the 2018 Grand Prix, as reported to by Reuters. He's also responsible for introducing the headrest, the safety survival cell, the front and side impact structures, as well as high cockpit sides as well as working in the development of the Hans device. Charlie Whiting's done so much for the sport in terms of the safety as well as the technical regulations as well. And sadly, this morning he was found passed away in Melbourne, Australia, just a couple of days before the season opener. In the hours after his passing away, many drivers have stepped forward to give their tributes and tribunals as well. Sebastian Vettel leading them as the lead driver delegate. He was saying, "I was as shocked as we all are still now when I heard the news this morning, especially because I spoke to him yesterday and walked the track for the first couple of corners together with him. It's difficult to grasp when somebody's just not there anymore. I've known him for a long time, and he was sort of our man, our driver's man. Obviously there's relegations and all that, and then there's us. And he was the middleman. He was someone you could ask anything at any time. He was open to everyone, any time. His door was always open. He was a racer. He was just a very nice guy. The whole paddock, the whole circus, the whole family of Formula One, all our thoughts are with him, and especially his family in these difficult circumstances." The champion as well, Lewis Hamilton, said, "I've known Charlie since I started in 2007. Incredibly shocked this morning to hear the sad news. Thoughts and prayers are with his family." What he did for the sport, his commitment, he really was a pillar. Such an iconic figure within the sporting world, and he contributed so much to us. May he rest in peace. Robert Kubica, who of course is making his comeback this season, said, "It's a hard moment. I saw Sebastian walking with Charlie yesterday, and I thought I would not interrupt them because I was going to see him on Friday in the driver's briefing. Unfortunately, that will not be the case. It's very sad. He was a kind of icon of Formula One, but not only Formula One. He was a racer, also keeping up everything in the regulations. He was really the kind of person you could always trust and commit. So it's a very sad moment. My thoughts are with his family." And there's a whole barrage of driver tributes, and it just is clear to see how many drivers he affected, not only today but also back in 1997 when he first stepped up to the role as well. Lots of photos going out with him and Michael Schumacher as well, very close to all of the drivers. Really treated it as a family. the whole of the Formula 1 community is going to miss him. Whether you agree with decisions or not, he was one of the best at what he did. Charlie Whiting, who sadly passed away this morning at the age of 66 years old.
Indeed, rest in peace there, Charlie. A legendary man with many talents, and obviously pinnacle for helping out with safety and everything he's done throughout, throughout the years, like improving sports safety, obviously being a technical delegate as well. You know, amazing aspect of skills and talent. Rest in peace, this, and obviously F1 will be sadly missed for you, like holding it together, but still carry on using your name as a legacy. And sport will always remember you for your hard work. So, moving on though, heading towards Spain tonight though, for the start of the European season. Obviously, race 1 of the European season will be in Spain. It's in Circuit de Barcelona, or as we like to call it, Catalonia, situated just outside Barcelona in the Catalan regions of Spain. Obviously, it's been raced since the 1980s, and it has held famous moments and incredible races through here, especially through the 1980s when Nigel Mansell and Senna would go down the main straight battling with wheels. We're also looking to 1995 when Schumacher was driving around in his Benetton, where he had to finish the race in only 5th gear only. Then obviously go a year later in '96 when they had the torrential downpours, and obviously Schumacher's first year in Ferrari came along to win it, being the rain master as himself, obviously leading the field by quite a fair margin. And then obviously going into the 2000s regions where you had Jens Schumacher overtaking Mika Häkkinen on the last lap due to Häkkinen run out of fuel, and then later on you had Lapanda Alonso creating moves and winning eventually his own race here as well, and also Pastor Maldonado, the name you don't often hear much, had his maiden and only win in F1 on this track in 2012 for the Williams, which then held off their celebrations when they came after the race when the pit garage got caught on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a track that has held so many historic moments throughout Formula 1, and especially the Circuit de Catalunya as well. It's a track that's balanced between that aero performance and straight line speed. Of course, you've got the run all the way down towards turn 1, which is also now a DRS zone, but you've also got the high speed technical sections of turns 3 and 4. Steph, as a driver you've seen in the past, how do you prepare for this circuit?
Obviously, with this classic circuit, not really much change really to expect of the obviously Sector 3. Obviously, back in the days of the circuit, Rod Blizzard there just goes for a little bit of a tail end happy moment, but gets away with it so far. Obviously, Sector 3 used to be quite fairly fast, few right-handers, but obviously they're shortening it down to make coverage gains, to make it safety, appearance, or speed. But yeah, generally though, you just obviously, because Barcelona is also known as a test track today, and obviously building little F1 days, but you just got to literally mentally prepare yourself, knowing there's more corners and straights, so you've got to think about corners and also braking points, also your taxing points with it on top, rather than outright pace and speed.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, here's a driver that has come back for today. Reserve driver for today is Blizzard, of course, the defending champion, but he has said in the past that he's not going to be fighting for this championship as he makes his way all the way down towards turn 1, and that DRS doesn't look open to me. I don't know whether it's just my eyesight or... well, that DRS didn't look open down the main straight, so maybe this is a banker lap of some sort. He is running the super soft tyres. 3 tyres available today are the super softs, which is the softest tyre, the soft, the middle tyre, and the mediums, which are the hardest possible tyre here today.
Indeed. Obviously, most of the top guys there will be thinking about using the super softs for when they go for the pole position shootout. But as White Big Biscuits out of the way of Blizzard there, but I think he hit the wall there as well. But still going though. But as we're watching Blizzard Day heading through Sector 3, this is a bit like I was talking about Gearing. Obviously, back in the days, this bit of the track would be extended a bit further. But then obviously come around, these two right-handers here used to go straight on and used to be two fast right-handers. But now obviously with this chicane here is obviously to increase the safety and obviously stopping cars having like potential critical damage or injuries or potential fatals. But it's a dead goes on top though with the at the moment with the banker lap of 116.5 there on a set of super softs, so that's the time to beat so far there from Blizzard. Though, where's the other platform for? Is that for Marquez or something they're going?
It could be. I'm just having a look and seeing where it is. But yeah, Marquez is out of the session. Not really sure why, but well, there we go. He might have sustained a bit of crash damage. Alan Kay there, 126.2, but that is a banker lap as he's now got his DRS open, but no ERS deployment as he heads down towards turn 1. So definite banker lap for Alan Kay, just getting a lap time on the board as Ollie there sets a 124.8. Again, the same mentality, just to get one lap time down there. Dave M, also a reserve for tonight, 121.0, and that puts him above the other two. And lots of lap times coming in on the medium tyres right now. Laronix, a 118.4. Now that's a more representative lap time of the medium tyres, puts himself 1.9 seconds, I should say, behind Blizzard there.
Yeah, at the moment, while I'm looking through, no one has not opted to go for the soft tyre. Which is a bit surprising. Obviously, the preview on the medium, they probably might think go a bit soft, like, a little bit later on, maybe start on a set of softs, but honestly, just quite surprised that obviously the top runners are not going for softs. Maybe they know something that we don't know. Obviously, we don't know anything that's happening from the race at all, but it's a bit surprising. No one opted for a soft tyre yet. It's more balanced tyre throughout, and give you a fair bit of performance.
Well, Mays in the chat there has said that it's going to be dry for both sessions. So, yeah, I mean, the thing with the super soft tyres are that you can make them last around this track. It's going to be difficult, obviously, but you can do it. And on a track that demands the tyres quite a bit, you might struggle. But again, probably, Steph, that's why I'm up in the commentary box.
Right, indeed. Obviously, as we're on board with Laronix on my screen anyway, we'll go through a little track guide there with Laronix in. So, heading down towards turn 1 then, they're going to break aboard the left hand of the 100 metre board, going around turn 1 there, taking the white line there through to start with, we'll go through turn 2. Getting nicely right under control there by Laurent. So far down around the long right hand of turn 3. This will punish the tyres on the front and left, particularly when making increasing temperatures, but heading down towards turn 4 now. Bit of a medium corner here, but again opens up on the exit, heading down towards turn 5. Get close to the apex here, get a brilliant exit here. Does there nicely so, heading down towards turn 6 and 7. Yeah, very quickly on the exit here of 7. Getting nice and stable there. We're on turn 9. It all goes a little bit wide there as it wants to, but again getting away with it just for now, heading down towards turn 10. Yeah, very slowest point so far on the circuit. Yeah, keeping well under control and for 11, 12. Yeah, very long right hander here, but again gets away with it. Yeah, through 13, 14, 15 and 16. Yeah, this section is very tight here. And obviously the right there just peels off into the pits there, but that is a layout there of Circuit de Catalunya.
And obviously, spoke over each other. I quite like that. We spoke over each other and said exactly the same thing. I like that.
Two minds think alike.
Spike then on medium tyres, 117.8 from him. Two-step old harder tyres than Blizzard then, and 117.8 from Spike. So good lap time from him so far. He was talking about his qualifying last time out, of course. The only driver in commentator's corner last time out on Tuesday, but it was more personalised interview, so I didn't mind that too much. As that Poe there running wide through turn 3, lost the car and is into the wall, but obviously he's hit it with the rear of the car, so there won't be too much damage to that car, just damaged pride from Poe there. But on those medium tyres, that could be an early warning sign through turn 3. Those medium tyres, if they're not up to temperature, it looks like they're just giving up altogether.
The thing is, though, Kieran, it could be just a case of a tyre warm-up, but not getting the right prep for mine for going out for a lap, or it could be just pushing the car a bit too much and the tyres just screaming. Because it's easy done if you go off a bit wide on turn 3, especially on the left side of the runoff area. If you go off a bit too wide there, it's kind of again goes up into gravel, but gets away with it again. But yeah, if you go off a bit wide of turn 3 off into the runoff area, there is a nasty bumps over there, and obviously one bump can just pivot the car obviously into a spin, but you can also lose control of the car easy, and that could be potentially, if that was a racing situation, be pretty much a race over.
Well, luckily for Poe then, only that pride is damaged as he makes his way back to the pit lane there, and he won't be very happy at all with that one. And there is a bit of debris on the right hand side of your picture as we see Lambo coming now down towards turn 10. Now I'm thinking then that's going to be a debris from Marquez's car as he hit the wall. That's what I'm assuming happened, but obviously we don't know, we never saw it, but he is out of the qualifying session. Here comes Lambo then coming through the final chicane, through turn 15, and then coming through the right-hander of turn 16. Let's see what sort of lap time Lambo can set then as he heads towards the line. So a long way down this straight, but it is 1:17.6, which would have put him up to P3, but the lap time was invalidated.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just literally like some of the drivers out there already. Obviously, just probably pushing their cars a bit too much. Obviously, even if some of them on the mediums, yes, you can push and lean hard more on the medium tyres because it's a harder compound. But push it on too much, again, you just lose performance very quickly. Also, certain areas on the track, i.e., like sector 3, and also parts of sector 2, if you cut certain corners, it can again invalidate your lap time, especially if you want a good run as well.
Ooh, Zenki off the track, just on the exit of turn 4, he taps the wall.
Gets away with it there. Whereabouts was he? Just on the exit of turn 4. So obviously maybe just a case of like caught the grass and just lost control there, but again turns himself around nicely, gets well out the way of the cars coming towards him. But again, like I said, certain corners here, Kieran, are giving some drivers a bit of a warning wake-up call.
No, you're absolutely right, and yeah, Zenki there just getting a little bit onto the curb on the outside of turn 4, which then led to the car understeering, then going onto the gravel, and then losing the car altogether. But, well, it's a lesson learned then, a little bit of pride hurt, but nothing more than that, as Damien now heads towards turn 4 now, heading into the second sector. A lot of drivers still on the medium tyres with just over 7 minutes to go, and everybody avoiding those soft tyres at the moment. Let's have a look at currently fitted, actually. Spike in the pit lane, thinking of softs. We've got Dave M on the softs in the pit lane. There's Alan K, who looks like he's been the first one to set the lap time on those yellow marked soft tyres. So on he goes then to start his flying lap as he makes his way now down towards turn 1. And turn 1 here on the very first lap, it's always going to be tricky. It's that right, left, then right. We've seen Fernando Alonso go around the outside of turn 3 many years ago, and it was a fantastic move. And with the aero of these cars, it's obviously a lot easier to do when you're in clear air. When you're in the dirty air, though, turn 3 can become a little bit of a nightmare, especially if you're starting on those harder tyres.
Indeed, it's literally turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Obviously, especially at the start of the race, turn 1 will be quite bottlenecked, obviously going into 2. And obviously, on turn 2, it is very easy, obviously, just to, like, just understeer into another car, which will then cause a chain reaction. And obviously, you can see accidents and potential retirements happen there. But again, yeah, like you said, turn 3 is the critical one, especially if you're behind another car. If you can clear out the front, you can go around there like a breeze, but if you get tucked behind back of the rear car, you're going to be losing aero efficiency, and obviously your car will just be sliding well off into the runoff area.
Mays then coming across the line to go up to P6, then is beaten by Ollie, who goes up to P4 with a 1:18.1 on a set of medium tyres. And some of these drivers, I mean Jay as well, 117.4 on a set of medium tyres. That's a really impressive time on those tyres.
That is a very good lap time there, especially on the mediums. He's only like, what, 1.3 seconds virtually off Blizzard's lap time, and yet he's on the softest compound going. So, you know, it is, some of the drivers, I don't know if they're like keeping their top speed, just waiting for the last, you know, as we're going into the last 5 minutes now, maybe just waiting for that time to get themselves out on track. Again, it depends on where they are, where the drivers around on track, and also where the cars like position wise at the moment in terms of location around the track.
Here comes Blizzard then. It's a 115.9 from Blizzard, and it really cuts down that chance of getting pole position by a lot there. First person into the 115s. I wonder if anyone can match him then, as with 4 minutes to go. There's a Red Bull on the side of the track there, and that is Ollie, who's lost a bit of front wing as well. That's coming towards turn 11 there.
That's right past that. He's like, so yeah, turn 11, turn 12, 13 area. He's definitely lost his front wing, by the looks of it. He's got the front left wing plate damage, for sure, so then maybe lost it somewhere just before the braking zone, probably touched the grass, especially on the top of that crest hill, or that fast right-hander.
Well, in any case, he has to come back to the pit lane and get that fixed. Luckily for him then, there's really no penalty for losing a front wing around here, apart from damaging your pride, as Maysdev, 6th place, 118.2 on a set of super soft tyres. There's Alan Cake being wheeled into his garage. He's currently 10th place on a set of soft tyres. And Blizzard then 115.9 as he takes an outside escape road, which is technically quicker. He's using the old circuit, Maze.
There you go, see Blizzard there, with the man to beat on the softest compound going. But what's surprising me here though, Kieran, is the Ferraris that haven't set a lap time yet, and it's only 3 minutes left. Obviously Perry's out there now out on track, but Lambo has not left this box. But I think he's just gone out now as we speak. Okay. Yes, he is. Lambo there is just going out on track, so...
Yeah, this could be a big call for the Ferrari crew because they didn't have the greatest race last time out. They know they need to get back onto that front foot. And Jay and Zenke getting that podium position. Zenke scoring his first points of the season to help McLaren there. But still, Ferrari have got a long, long way to catch up to Mercedes. And it's at this point, and Blizzard's left the session.
Ooh. Hope Blizzard can get back in there very quickly. He has got, you know, a bit of time to get back in the session, but hopefully it's just a case of connection dropout, but hopefully he does get back soon, otherwise the race will be a bit more interesting.
Absolutely. Here comes Spike then, racing through turn 9, and Mazer's retired from the session. 6th place is all he feels he can do. Spike now braking heavily towards turn 10, now up the hill as we head towards turn 11. As that curve on the inside there, it's very tempting to take it, but you've got to have the right car set up to attack it. As we now head with Spike through turn 13, then towards the chicanes of 14 and 15 now. What can Spike do then on those soft tyres? He makes his way around the final corner, and with the DRS open he heads towards the start-finish line. It's a 1:17.0. He goes second fastest on those soft tyres. Blizzard has rejoined the session there, but all eyes are on Jay at the moment on those soft tyres. Can he get into the 1:16s as Poe retires from the session, so he won't be qualifying any higher than 15th place. So a Ferrari starting that far down the order won't be good news. Squeezy then 1:17.2 on some soft tyres. Here comes Jay around the final corner then. Can he get onto the front row of the grid with only a minute to go? No, he can't. 1:21.0. So he backed out of that lap. He's got to go again. And he's got a minute to do it. So this will be his last chance. Ollie then making his way now around the final corner as he goes to start his flying lap. Lighty then has backed off completely now, as that is Squeezy right behind him, still attacking on a lap here as he heads through turn 5 on the descent through turn 6 and then towards turn number 7. Let's see if we can spot anybody else out on track at the moment. Laronix here heading his way down towards turn 10. We've got Dave M out there through turn 4. White then is coming towards the final chicane as he tries to, well, I think he was going to let the Renault of Alan Kay go past, but then Alan Kay backed off as well. So White then comes across the line. He'll have 20 seconds left on the clock. Alan Kay will have about 18. Yellow flags in sector 3. Zenki also on a lap as well as Lambo. He's now making his way around the final couple of corners.
The last couple of corners.
And here we go then. Can the Ferrari get higher than 14th place? Hasn't set a lap time just yet. This is going to be his last chance. Looks like he's going to be the first person to take the checkered flag. He comes towards the start finish line. What can he do? It's P3, 1:16.7. Squeezy up to second place with a 1:16.7 as well. But there's Jay, 1:16.4. Second place for him right now. What about Laronix then? He's making his way through the first sector, so might be a while before we find a lap time for him. As Dave M now goes 8th place on soft tyres, 1:17.7. A lot of 1:17s and 16s happening right now. And here we go with Ollie then. Does he come into the pits? Yes, he does.
He's coming into the pits.
Alan Kay
up there as well. And Alan Kay, the White and Alan Kay are quite close together on track as well. Laronix is obviously... Yeah, Laronix is there. It looks like he's backed off. Yes, Laronix is backed off, so focusing now on White and Alan Kay. So obviously, there's a pretty much battle for position and pride between them two. So White then comes around the last corner. Where will this put White? And he puts himself up into P8. That's a good lap time there from White. And obviously Alan Kay. Obviously Alan Kay there remains in P13 then. So, Kieran, we have got Blizzard then on pole, along with Jay and Squeezy there of the top 3.
Absolutely, and let's have a look at those results in full as we head towards the table. And we'll be able to see here now, any moment now the table will come up. And what is going to be shocking then is a Ferrari and a Williams not qualifying. That was Marquezas and Lambo not setting a lap time during this session. But there is your qualifying results then. Blizzard 1:15.9 puts him on pole position. Jay then in second, importantly on some soft tyres. Everybody else in the top 10 is on soft tyres apart from Blizzard. Squeezy then in third place with Lambo in fourth. Zenki in fifth with Laronix in sixth. Spike then in seventh with White in eighth. Lady ninth and Dave in rounding up the top 10. Ollie is in 11th, missed out by just 3/10 of a second. Mays in 12th. Alan Kay 13th. Damien 14th. Poe and Marquezas not setting a lap time. I said that wrong. I said it was Lambo didn't set a lap time. He's actually qualified in 4th place. As we head towards the race, obviously we do have the formation lap, but both myself and Steph won't say a word during it out of respect as we remember Charlie Whiting. So when the formation lap pulls away, we will simply mute our mics and look back at a fantastic man who's done so much for the sport ever since he was introduced in 1988.
Indeed. Hashtag rest in peace, Charlie. With what I'd like to say on that one. And obviously feel free to participate as well whilst we go silent as well. Show respect to iconic, amazing man who's done a hell of a lot for the sport to improve it to where it is now. Obviously with assisted help from everyone else along the way as well.
Absolutely, and we will be back when the lights start to count down. So here we are then on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. Moments away from those lights counting down. Here we are then. 5 red lights. Round 5 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Blizzard's got a good start, but Squeezy's got a fantastic start behind the Red Bull. The Red Bull has to instantly cut off the McLaren behind him. Well, watch out as they try and go 3 wide as we head down towards turn 1 for the very first time. Jay's down the inside. Squeezy goes through the middle there, and the Ferrari trying to go around the outside as well, as they look like they've all made...
That's Haas in the background there, Kieran. That looks like Damon or Dave M. Is it Dave M there? He got caught up there. I'm not sure who he got caught up with there, but looks like he got away with no damage, luckily, but that was a bit of a heart and mouth moment there for everyone else trying to overtake Dave M there, but...
Absolutely, they looked like Lambo then coming out of turn 4. Looked like he got the back end all stepped out then. So really pushing then as that's Marquez battling away with Lighty then as he tries to fight his way through up the hill now. He's got into P10 ahead of the Force India. Remember, he started P16. He didn't set a single lap in qualifying then. Blizzard making his way now down towards turn 10 there as Squeezy's moved up a position. Meanwhile, Spike and Lambo battling away here on board with Spike then as he tries to fight with Lambo, but he can't quite get it done then. Through turn 11 they go. The clouds are looming over right now. A little bit of track temperature might be affected then as Blizzard now making his way through the chicane, and predictably on the super soft tyres then he's able to try and build a gap behind Squeezy. It's a good start from Squeezy, by the way. At the end of lap 1 then, Blizzard leads from Squeezy, Jay, Zenki, Lambos, Spike, Loronix, White, Poe, Marquezes, Lighty, Ollie, Mays, Alan K, Damien and Dave M, who rounds off the top 16. No retirements after the first lap.
That is indeed no retirement so far. Obviously they're Blizzard there making the perfect start as he wanted to, literally 2.2 seconds clear of Squeezy, which is an ideal start. But the thing is, how long will the super soft tyres will last compared to the guys behind him who can go much further into the race distance, even potentially, maybe if they're with anyone risking it, one stopping maybe.
Yeah, you can definitely get away with one stopping here, as that looks like a Ferrari then trying to got the inside of White. That was Poe there. A little bit of a tag on the rear tyre then, won't be enough to unsettle the Williams, but as we head now down towards turn 10, Poe gets the move done, but he loses the back end slightly. White gets another go then round the outside as we head up towards turn 12 here, and it looks like he's just about, turn 9 that is. Oh, that's a Force India, get into the gravel then. That was Lighty, really pushing the limits there, but White is able to hold on there, and that was good defensive moves there. Good awareness to try and cut back there, as that's Poe again struggling with the back end as he headed through now. That's turn 12 as we head through turn 13 now, down towards the chicane of 14 and 15 then. Poe, who also started from 15th place, finds himself now up to 9th place on those soft tyres, but Marquez is starting P10 on those medium tyres, has made a really good start. DRS enabled then won't be in use until the straight between turn 9 and turn 10. The first detection point is on the run up towards turn 9. The second DRS zone is the long straight here just after turn 16, with that detection point after the chicane. As let's have a look at the McLaren of Jay here.
Jay's getting very close with this Squeezy, and obviously he's got Zenki as well behind him as a rear gunner trying to fend off Lambo. So obviously battling him by P2 effectively down to, say, P7 here. It is quite a bit of a train, quite nicely spread out here, but again, if one driver makes a mistake it can just send a chain reaction. Everyone else can try and avoid and take the punishment of the driver make a mistake. As obviously Jay here trying to attack Squeezy. Obviously on the back straight here is not so much of a beneficial unless you get a good run off the turn 9 and then down to turn 10. So obviously Jay will just have to tuck in behind Squeezy, making sure he gets a great exit from turn 15 and turn 16 in order to try and get down the main straight here. See how we could get fares on as we come around 10, 15, 16 now. Obviously Squeezy here will be literally going full defence mode here. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes full right here. Obviously Jay in a slipstream. Obviously Zenki as well, close behind, followed by Lambo and also Spike as well. But Squeezy there gets himself quite nicely covered there for now. Now he's got a gap that can defend himself from attacking Jay. He's just got to try and maintain it. Easy said and done, but obviously Squeezy at the moment though has got clear air, unlike the likes of the cars behind him who just have to deal with that dirty air turbulence coming off the Mercedes.
Oh, and that's a move from Marquezes as we head towards turn 4. Try to go up the inside of his teammate then. We saw on stream that was, a huge dive bomb in towards turn 5. And that is White now trying to come back as we head through turn 6 now. And we're going towards the inside of turn 7. Can they keep it together? Can they behave themselves? And White holds on then. And I don't think White will be too impressed with his teammate then. Meanwhile, Lighty is licking his lips behind them there. Watch out through turn 12. That is when drivers will start to lose the back end. Here comes Marquezes. Through turn 10, and White has to go off the track as we head through turn 11, and he's made contact with Lighty, and Lighty's up into the wall. He's lost a huge chunk of front wing there. He was following that battle, keeping himself to himself, and he's the one that's caught up in the incident.
Oh, I feel sorry there for Lighty. He knows that the Williams were fighting there, but you could have seen it coming off a mile long there. But obviously the Williams boys there literally tripping over each other. It's only lap 5. It's like, it's not like a 5 lap race distance. It's it's a 50% race distance of 33 laps. Obviously, Williams boys should think about just don't battle each other, just think of points, and obviously instead they started tripping over each other. Obviously, Claire Williams will be absolutely fuming with that incident for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's only got Marquezes on a part-time basis as well, so he's only really going to be realistically scoring half of the points this season and that he would normally, but now up to 9th and 10th anyway. Jay then did try and move on Squeezy as we headed down towards turn 1. Oh, that's a little bit of loss of control there from Zenki, right onto the curbing there of turn 12. That is where you have to be careful. Oh, sorry, turn 9. I'm getting all my corners mixed up today. But on the exit of turn 9, that curbing on the left-hand side is dangerous. If you put too many wheels on there, and if you're too heavy with that right foot, you can see yourself spinning into the wall on the right-hand side. So watch out for that as the tyres start to wear away.
He's just lost a bit of time here, and Squeezy's starting to reel in a little bit here. Obviously, Blizzard lost about half a second to nearly 7/10 there, so maybe he made a mistake here. Obviously, Blizzard's just got to be very careful with that, because these guys behind him, as Jay's trying to go for a look on Squeezy, but nothing coming so far. He is trying to switch it back around to get himself a perfect line go through, but at the moment, nothing coming to it. Although Jay's gone off wide, which has opened up the doors to his teammate. Is Zenki going to try to go for the move down turn 4? Not at the moment, he's just going to stay behind his teammate just for now. So obviously Jay then starting to feel a little bit of loss of grip maybe due to the turbulence coming off that Mercedes. Obviously one makes a mistake and the other one starts making mistakes like this. It obviously carries a chain reaction towards the cars behind who are following suit. But like I said though, from P2 down to P7, it is still fairly tight here, all within the line down the main straight. And obviously Blizzard there, he's getting wheeled in here. Whilst Lambo going for a move on Zenki. Obviously Lambo there making a little bit of contact with Zenki, but gets away with it. And Zenki then maintains position there on Lambo, although Spike is there waiting now, knowing that Lambo made a move and a mistake. Can Spike capitalise on Lambo's misfortunes there? But at the moment, just got to settle, wait for turn 15, turn 16. Lambo there's losing a little bit back end, also Spike as well. But again, we're getting DRS whilst Blizzard is into the pits, which means Squeezy there leads the race, followed by Jay and Zenki here. Right down towards turn 1. Obviously, again, no moves happening so far from the front guys here in terms of changing positions. It's still maintaining position as it stands.
Yeah, Blizzard was losing a lot of time in that last lap alone. He knew he had to come in, otherwise he would have been easy overtakes down the main straight. But as we head now onto lap number 7, the only super soft runner in the race has gone back out on a set of super soft tyres. He's going for a 2-stop then.
Sector 1. There's the other flag in sector 1.
Now, who could that be, I wonder? Didn't quite show up.
Nicely. Blizzard going for a move on Dave M. Obviously fresh set of boots. And obviously Blizzard is up to P13. His next car ahead is Adam K. While the other flag is out in sector 1 again. Where is that yellow flag at?
Not quite sure actually, but I'm sure they're just cars slightly running off the circuit. Sometimes here at the circuit the marshals like to be too ambitious with the yellow flags, almost too safe with the yellow flags. And if a car gets 4 wheels off, normally there's a yellow flag. Oh, as Spike loses the back end, almost out of the final corner, and that is going to be probably an easy move for Laronix here as he gets into the slipstream. Spike is exposed then as we head now down towards turn 1, but look at the speed difference between the two of them as we head now down towards turn 1. There's the McLarens fighting away as well. Zenki tried to move down the inside in towards turn 1. Jay managed to hold on. Laronix couldn't quite take the advantage there that he was given to him on a play. Spike losing that back end. Very, very lucky to keep it all under control then, and that does show a good amount of control from the Mercedes driver. A little bit of a heart rate change for Spike then, that's for sure. But he's just going to keep himself calm, keep his head down, because he's been doing a good job so far in that 5th place spot. So Squeezy is leading 1.4 seconds ahead of Jay, with Zenki right behind his teammate then. And Zenki scored his first points of the season last time out at Azerbaijan. He's now looking to try and make it back-to-back podium. Still a long way to go, of course, but if he's battling his teammate, he might sort of put that position into jeopardy, as Poe here has caught up to the lead pack. He started from down the field then in 15th place and now has an opportunity to challenge for the lead pack, as he's 7th in this queue of 6 for the battle for 2nd place.
Indeed, obviously, guys here at the moment, obviously, with Jay and Zenki, they're getting quite close together. Obviously, both teammates, of course, is helping Squeezy here to retreat, literally putting away. Although Squeezy will need to stop obviously put away as much as possible. And Zenki trying to go for a move on teammate of Jay. Has he got the move done by turn 1? Yes, he has, although they're still side by side. They're going around turn 2. But Zenki there gets the move done on his teammate. So Zenki up into P2, Jay down into P3. So I don't know if... Oh, he was out off track there. I think that's just David B there, just keeping it out of the way there. Obviously letting the lap pass through there. So fair enough there from David, who unfortunately picks up a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I'll say that's a little bit harsh there, Kieran.
Yeah, very harsh. I think he'll be appealing that at the end of the race. Meanwhile, then Lambo heading down towards turn 7, and he has actually retired after that incident, maybe due to the 10-second penalty, but he could have always appealed that one in the steward's room. But that was a great move from Zenki as we headed down towards turn 1, as he's got the move done on his teammate, battling out on track. And Jay, championship rival to Squeezy, is not going to be too pleased with his teammate there, but you can forgive him. 5 races into the season, Zenki wants to race.
Oh, indeed. This is what we like to see, though. Teammates, like, you know, obviously 5th race in, pretty much practically the start of the season towards, like, who was going to be candidate for, like, you know, for a world champion, going for the driver's title. But obviously Zenki there laying down the gauntlet, saying that I ain't going to be no number 2 driver. I'm here to push. I'm here to race. I want to, you know, I want to be the number 1 driver at McLaren. So obviously Zenki there laying down the gauntlet. Jay's got to find something to respond, but again, we don't want to be making the same mistakes as we see earlier in the race with the Williams boys, for sure.
Absolutely. Lap 10 of this Grand Prix then, which is sort of kind of when the pit window opens. I'm expecting cars to pit between laps 10 and 13 on the soft tyres, and that should be able to get them to the end of the race on the mediums. Maybe lap 10's a bit too early, but sort of around this time, pit window's almost open. Those tyres might be feeling the end of their life at the moment, but if you can get 12 laps out of these tyres, you should be good for the end of the race.
Oh, indeed. We could probably see, like I said, like, you know, probably like lap 12 to lap 16, I reckon that's probably the range of lots of pit stop there for the softs. Obviously, those on the mediums, they can probably push on to about, I'll say about
Alan's off.
lap 20, lap 22. Oh, what's that with Alan Kate?
Alan Kay off just after turn 8, now going through turn 9, just trying to see if there's any damage to that car.
He's got wing damage to the front left, I believe, if I get the right camera angles here. At the moment, just get the front and rear.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting at the moment. I'm desperately trying to see if there's another camera angle. Here we go. Yes, you were right. Yes. Left-hand side of that front wing damaged. So that is going to have to be a pit stop for Alan Kay. And he was talking to me before the stream started. He was hoping for 8th or 9th place. That might have taken a severe blow right now. But Laronix here, meanwhile, chasing down Spike. And we've seen before, Spike made that mistake. Laronix failed to capitalise on it. And is this a case of Laronix here just not being able to find a way past Spike?
Yeah, like I said, obviously Cataluna is obviously is a, you know, fairly quick corner circuit based. Obviously, it is an old school, obviously starting in the 80s. Obviously, Cataluna itself The track layout, it's not so much of a straight line, it's basically the aero for fast sweeping corners here. So obviously the Onyx here getting tucked up behind Spike here, especially in the corners, just not capitalising maybe on tractions and exit. Was he nearly lost the back end there, but kept it kind of under control there. So obviously the Onyx has just got to find some of where Spike's weakness point is, and obviously using it to his strong points to try and capitalise. While Spike there goes a little bit wider than the last corner than he would usually want, and now going to the far right hand side while Squeezy's in the pits. So Spike here under huge pressure here. He has got not just Lemonic but Poe as well. But again, Spike keeping the Taurus at bay while Spike there goes wide at turn 2. Lemonic there can well sniff it off P4 here around turn 3. But again, Spike gets away with it just for now. Obviously, Lemonic there has just got to be careful because he is in a sandwich between Spike and Poe. If Lemonic makes a move and doesn't pull it off, Poe will be there to open up and take it with open arms while Spike there goes for another lock up again around turn 5. So obviously Spike now under pressure. Maybe it's just a case of the tyres just starting to drop off. Ronix there with a little touch of dust. Poe trying again, go and snap on the back of the heels of the Ronix. Ronix here just starting just to drop back a little bit off Spike, then again goes off wide. Poe again is why going wide. DRS active, and then again trying to have a move into turn 11. Just not at the moment. It is literally nail biting. One mistake and the driver behind can capitalise, but if you can recover the mistake quickly, it just puts a bit of pain to the car behind.
Absolutely, and whilst that battle was going on, Squeezy did come into the pits to put on a set of medium tyres. There goes Laronix into the pit, and it's almost as if Poe reacted there as well as they head towards the pit lane. Jay also into the pits as well, and it's all about getting the braking zone right for your entrance into the pit lane. So that means Zenki and Lambo had to stay out. Spike though had the choice of coming in, but stayed out.
Maybe Spike thinking like, you know, just maybe trying to extend the gap as much as possible, trying to minimise the time on the mediums if he's going for that one stop. But unless he's waiting for a potential safety car, which may happen, we do not know. But obviously the pit window is open now for anyone on the softs for sure. But it only takes us one driver to make a mistake, and the next thing the safety car comes out and Spike's got a free pit stop going in his favour.
Absolutely, a couple of drivers to keep our eye on. Marquez is up to 4th place right now. He started on those medium tyres. As well as that, Blizzard's been in for another stop. He's put on a set of medium tyres now. That will take him to the end of the race, but 2 super softs and a mediums. Something's telling me something didn't go to plan there.
Maybe Blizzard probably maybe attempting to go soft, but maybe accidentally Red Bull boys selected set of super softs into mediums. While Spike's there, she does come into the pits, also Lambo and Zenki, which means Spike Aces then leads the race on lap 14.
Absolutely, and of course he'll be wanting to sort of lead till about lap 21. That's probably when his pit window is going to open for those medium tyres. Maybe a little bit earlier, maybe actually lap 20 they're going to open. Lap 20 to 23, so I'm expecting Marquez to come into the pits.
Kieran, Lawrence and Poe heading down the main straight. Obviously, they both made pits. Obviously, Poe making a pit stop. And so Lawrence here, both on the same compound, going side by side, and Poe gets the move done just before turn 1. And obviously, Spike, very crucially, just out ahead of Poe. Although Poe's not looking for moving. That is Maze out. Is that Maze out? Maze is still going, but luckily, I think just in case of a front wing damage, but gets away with it. Very lucky there for Maze.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Poe then, trying to go up the inside of Spike, then very close together as we head down towards turn 5. And Poe tries a little bit of a cutback here, still trying to go up the inside, a little bit of tap in there. And as they head now through turn 6, now coming towards turn 7, still side by side as Poe wants to go up the inside through turn 7. Now coming through the right-hander of turn 8, then just about enough space as we head through turn 9.
Side by side, turn 9.
Poe's on the outside, Spike. Oh, that's so close. But Laronix is looking to try and take advantage. Here comes Poe then again up the inside through turn 10. They've been running side by side for the last couple of corners. Through turn 11 though. And at last, Poe puts the flag down and picks up P7 there. And Laronix again just can't quite take advantage.
Wow, great respectful racing between Poe and Spike there. Obviously, heart and mouth moment, in particular some of the corners you don't expect to have an overtake or side by side at least, but kudos and respect for sure, for obviously putting faith and trust in each other. Meanwhile, though, Lambo is in the McLaren sandwich. He's between obviously Zenki and Jay. Obviously, both fairly made the pit stops with each other. Obviously, Jay ran 1 lap longer. So obviously, all to play for Lambo and Zenki, though, to try and see if they can pull away from Jay maybe, or Lambo trying to look for a move past Zenki. But at the moment, Lambo not in any position to engage in attack, just a case of following as we speak for now.
As we head now up the hill through turn 8, Lambo just trying to put some pressure on Zenki then, and the Ferrari boys getting their strategy right. They've split the McLaren so far, but Lambo will want one better. He'll want to get past Zenki, and Marquez's then lap 15 leads this race, as that is Alan Kay, and Mays has also had to come into the pits to replace that front wing, so the Renaults are now running at the back. That is not exactly where they thought they were going to be at this point in the race, but of course anything can happen. A safety car could still be deployed, as you see there, Poe running onto the grass on the left hand side there. That won't help his tyre wear too much, but I suppose on these medium tyres he's not too worried about the tyre wear as we head past the halfway mark of this race, or just before it actually, as Marquez is in the lead with Ollie yet to pit as well. Squeezy in third, Zenki fourth, Lambo fifth, Jay in sixth, Poe in seventh, having to defend from this man here, Spike, who's in 8th place right now, but where will it be after the first 3 turns? And here we go, turn 2. Oh, Spike's lost the back end! And Laronix collects him! And I wonder if Laronix has damage there, and Spike, well, no damage to his car, just a little bit of flat spotting if there is any, but Laronix there took a big whack on that Mercedes, and I wonder how much that's damaged his front wing.
Laronix there will probably, if he is lucky, yeah, probably get away with like a yellow or potential orange front left wing end plate there. But obviously Spike there, obviously just probably trying to go around maybe the outside of turn 1, obviously picking up on the marbles on the outside there, which probably cost a case of loss of grip for turn 2, and obviously that's where the back end goes. But again, kept it well under control, and obviously Nordic said just hitting into the back, so obviously at the moment looking at Spike's cars looking reasonably fine. But again, the Onyx there probably might have a bit of damage, which might hamper him later on throughout the race.
Lambo here has the DRS on Zenki. He's looked closer than he has done in the past couple of laps in that slipstream now as we head down towards turn 1. Zenki here is going to keep on the racing line. Lambo did think about making a move up the inside, but decides to fill those mirrors with red rather than try and find a way down the inside. So we head through turn 3 now, and Lambo here still trying to put up the pressure. Meanwhile, further up the road, this is the battle for second place right now. Ollie, who's yet to stop, is only 7/10 ahead of Squeezy right now. Marquez is 10 seconds ahead of this battle right now, so he'll be looking to try and put on some soft tyres in the next couple of laps. That'll take him to the end of the race, and obviously he'll just have to keep his tyres in check, where other drivers will be able to push hard as they can on the mediums. Marquez will have to do a little bit of tyre management on the soft tyres just to keep them in temperature. And you can see there Squeezy looking to put that pressure on Ollie as we head down towards turn 10. And with the battle for fourth now between Zenki, Lambo and Jay, looking good for that one. Then it's Poe and Lyronix battling for 7th place.
Ollie's lost it! But again, lucky onto the grass, but not where he really wanted to happen, around, I believe, which was like turn 12, turn 13. Maybe just a case of going a little bit too eager on the throttle and obviously losing the back end, and he was in a good battle there for seconds, which obviously gifted Squeezy there on the plate there. So Ollie there just probably just starting to struggle just a little bit on his mediums. Here comes Lambo. Obviously.
Lambo up the inside in towards turn 1, and the Ferrari's got ahead of Zenki then. So can he hold on through turn 3? Yes, he can. And makes the move on the McLaren. Then both the McLarens actually onto the AstroTurf. Very risky to do that one, but they both keep control of the cars. And Lambo then up to P3, and Marquez here will be very wary behind him. Squeezy is behind now, championship leader, and Marquez is there having to lift going through turn 9, quite a lot actually, but the gap remains 11 seconds between Marquez and Squeezy, as Poe now manages to find a way past Ollie then as we head through turn 7, and Ollie is in trouble here. I wonder if he's got any damage to that front wing there, It doesn't look like, visually, it looks like there's no damage, but that doesn't mean there isn't any damage as we now head through turn 9, making our way down towards turn 10. You can see there Ollie having to try and defend, but actually he chooses against defending against Lyronics there and rather lets him through. And I think he's just trying to nurse that car until his pit window opens.
And obviously Ollie, yeah, he's also coming.
Oh, he's lost it again!
He's lost it again, same spot again! Keeping it out the wall. But so it looks like Ollie there is starting to struggle very badly on those mediums. I think those mediums have truly had it. Obviously, repetitive spin again around the same corner. Yeah, I think that's a telltale sign of saying you might want to pick to put some new tyres on, which he does impressively so. So obviously, then Ollie coming into the pits, obviously 17 lap old mediums. Now, question is, what tyres will he go on? Looks like it's a set of softs. Yes, it is. It's a set of softs there. So obviously, Ollie there will have to maybe consider doing a bit of time management, and he does indeed retire out of the race there. So that is Ollie then making the second retirement of the night.
Absolutely. Spinning twice in the same spot is always going to be frustrating, so he becomes our second retirement of the day. Lyronics and Poe went side by side going through turn 4 there, and Poe still able to hold on then, so he keeps a hold of his 6th place right now. And look at the clouds, they don't look too encouraging as we head to the latter stages of this race. Lambo meanwhile wants to get away from those McLarens. They're running 4th and 5th right now, and Marquez is into the pits then on lap 19, so he'll be able to take those soft tyres to the end. That means then Squeezy is going to get the lead of the race as he comes around the final corner now. And the thing with Marquez is he'll put on a set of soft tyres. He will be quick towards the end of this race, or at least now, but he's got to remember he's got to keep those tyres in check. They will have an advantage at the start of the stint, but towards the end he'll find he has the disadvantage.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, as we see, Lyronics here, as Marquez has come into the thick of this battle. So obviously Blizzard there also on the back of Marquez as well. Obviously Marquez with his tyres not fully up to scratch, whilst Blizzard is all nice and warm and pumped up. Trying to look for a move around turn 4 around the Williams. But obviously with Marquez there with superior grip to then Blizzard. Obviously just fending off that Red Bull just for now, going around turn 5. Blizzard there will be eager to get a move done quickly on Marquez whilst he's still trying to get his tyres warmed up. But Marquez there just has to try and pull away from Blizzard as much as he can. Obviously try and catch up to the next two in front of him, which is Poe and Lyronics, who are also battling out for position. So obviously Marquez will be beneficial on his tyres on the softs to start off with, but again, as you said there, Kieran, it will, a little while later into the stint, it will have to do some time management just to get them to the end, because those tyres will be surely gone by near the end of the race.
Absolutely. Well, Squeezy lead then on lap 21. We have 13 laps to go here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Squeezy has a 2.8 second lead over Lambo. Zenki right behind though in 3rd place, with Jay in 4th place. Then it's Poe in 5th place with Lyronics in 6th, but having to defend against Marquez.
Turn 1. Side by side through there, Gavi's getting inside line for turn 2 to make contact there. Fairly pushing Lyronics here right, but Lyronics has got the inside line for turn 3, whilst Marquez hangs around the outside. So Marquez is up into P6, Lyronics in P7. Blizzard now looking for a move around the inside of turn 4. But at the moment there, Lyronics there just hangs on for now. Blizzard still looking for a move. Going for a switch back out on the inside, and late lunge, and they make contact! They make contact turn 5 there. Obviously Blizzard going up into P7, Lyronics down to P8. Obviously Blizzard, obviously being a full-time world champion, should know that that was a bit of a risky move there. Maybe think about considering giving a position back, but at the moment as he stands, he's in P7. Obviously, Lyronics there down in P8.
Yeah, absolutely. When you tap the rear of the car like that, it's always going to be given touch and go. What's going to happen? And credit to Lyronics there for keeping that back end in check. Could have easily got away from him, but he had the control to keep it under control. But I don't think he'll be too happy with Blizzard with that move down towards turn 5. It was a very late lunge down there, and I think even Blizzard will admit himself that was a bit of a lunge. But Zenki then trying to make a move as we head down towards turn 1. Zenki around the inside for turn 2, and he will be around the outside for turn 3. Decides to back off, maybe try a cut back here, but he's got a mouthful of that dirty air now, and he's dropped right the way back as we head now down towards turn 4. That is the power of the dirty air. Meanwhile then, Marquezes gets past Poe then, and Poe was off the track. I don't know if anything happened between those two, but Marquezes up to 5th place, and he's making good progress right now. Now he's in clear air. Now he'll be able to sort of manage those tyres properly. 5 seconds up the road behind this battle here for 2nd place, and Squeezy is just keeping his head down with 12 laps to go. But here's a chance for Jay then, as Zenki lets him go, and that could be a crucial move then. Yeah, so Jay now is able to attack Lambo, and maybe the McLaren team were over the radio, and if they were, it's a little early in the season, but Zenki has only got the 15 points on the board. Jay has much more than that, and he's now able to be the lead McLaren as they chase down Lambo.
Maybe the case of just working as a tag team, like trying to help each other who can get a little bit more points in. Obviously, Zenki, they're just playing like pretty much the number 2 driver role, just say like, I'm not going to hold you up. Let's just like push on and try and get the points as much as we can for the team, work as a unit. Obviously, Jay looked a bit more quicker behind Zenki there. Maybe in case Zenki was like busy battling with Lambo, maybe just overdoing his tyres just a little bit too much, maybe in his favour. Whilst Jay's there, just been like managing his tyres and watching them to squabble it out.
Zenki's out!
Zenki gone! Zenki's out!
Where is Zenki off then? He's off on the left-hand side. Yeah.
That is very unusual. That was very unusual there for Zenki, Dave.
He's lost a front wing. Wow, bizarre from Zenki. He was all on his own.
That is very unusual there for Zenki. I don't know what happened to his car. Because that is very unusual there to literally lose your car there. Unless you're very indeed exploring the track limits there, but that's a very unfortunate for Zenki though. In good position as well. Obviously, the Brown boys are getting some good decent points there if they kept up their performance, but unfortunately then Zenki taking retirement there for no reason, for some reason.
Absolutely, but that does leave Jay now to try and chase down Lambo and more, well, to Marquezes. He's got another position now. He's up to 4th place, and he could be on a late charge for the podium then. Lap 24 out of 33. We have 10 laps to go here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Squeezy keeping that 3-second gap alive then. And what about this battle between Poe and Blizzard then for P5? Blizzard here has lost a lot of ground on Marquez as he was battling him about 2 laps ago. Now look at the gap between them. That just shows the soft tyres versus the medium tyres, and Marquez has to make the most of them whilst they're still in good nick. Blizzard then making his way down towards turn 5, still behind Poe for now, and he'll now make his way through 6, up 7, and then through 8, and then through the fast right-hander of turn 9. Marquez though picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's on his first of the race. But here's Blizzard now making his way through turn 9, dropping the gear then, and then going straight back up it when he gets off the curbing. As we now head down towards turn 10, DRS is open, and look at the brakes there. Much more powerful one of the brakes is Blizzard against Poe, and that is the weapon he's supposedly going to use then. Probably on the run down towards turn 1. There's no point in having a move before the DRS zone here as Poe gets onto the grass, and we head now down towards turns 14 and 15. Now making our way through the long right-hander of turn 16. You've got to really get that exit right then, and let's see what Blizzard can do then. Down, start, finish straight to start lap 25. He's in the slipstream now. He's gaining on Poe. Poe's leaving the left-hand side exposed, moves back across to the racing line. He wanted to go down the inside, but Poe basically parked his car in the middle of the track. Nowhere for Blizzard to go then, and they'll have to try it all over again then as we head through turn 3. Now heading towards turn 4. And yeah, Blizzard at the moment can't find a way past.
Indeed, obviously with having Blizzard squabbling like here, this will help Marquezes to build up a more of a gap between them two behind him. But obviously Marquezes is trying to catch up to the squabble of Lambo and Jay up ahead, which is obviously still within like half a second. Obviously not as close as Blizzard and Poe is, but again Blizzard again eyeing up a move on there for turn 9. But DRS heading down towards turn 10. Poe there taking a very defensive line there for turn 10. Obviously at the moment Blizzard going for a switch back, and he looks like he gets traction purchase there through turn 11 and 12 and might get it, but at the moment though Poe hanging on for dear life here, whilst Blizzard there trying to keep pushing Poe as much as possible around a few corners there, but Poe there. Whilst Blizzard there goes into the back of Poe once again. Again, Blizzard, watch your front wing. You don't want to lose your front wing in this, especially on a track like this. Poe now will be a sitting duck for Blizzard, unless Poe's got a good traction here as it is look at the moment. But Blizzard there getting a brilliant toe here. Going down the inside. Very tight here for Blizzard and Poe here. Can he get the move done by turn 1? Looks like they have all almost close to touching again, keeping each other fair in there. Blizzard going for a switch back around turn 2. Poe gets the position back. Then around turn 3, Blizzard there will be disadvantage here because of the dirty air. Poe there still maintaining position, heading down into turn 4. Again, Poe keeping his head down, focusing on what's out on the head. Blizzard will be looking up for a move. He's going to go for a move down 5, which he tries keeps pulling off. With a heavy lock up, but again, not lucky not to go in the back of that Ferrari. Heading down towards the turn 6 and turn 7. And also turn 8 as well. There's going to be another chance here for Blizzard if he gets a good exit off turn 9. Yeah, they're keeping very close and tight here. Obviously, the other side can and that's LeRonic's gone out of the race.
LeRonic's out then. Blizzard's still trying to make a move up towards turn 10. He gets himself a 3-second time penalty as we head through turn 11 now. Now trying to go around the outside of turn 12, and Poe is having none of it. He keeps a hold of that position now, and Blizzard trying to go up the inside, trying to make a move that really wouldn't work. Here he comes now down the chicane.
Contact! They make contact again in the chicane area. Just for going into the chicane. Again, Poe and Blizzard trying to, obviously Blizzard going down the inside. And again, the move not pulling off. Whilst this time, though, heading down towards turn 1, side by side. Obviously, Blizzard with DRS. Obviously, Poe's not. Has Blizzard got the move done this time? It's getting side by side again. They make contact once again. Turn 2. Oh, they don't see Blizzard. He lost it, but again, keeps it under control. Poe picking up a 3-second time penalty there. I think that's the case of trying to avoid from Blizzard, but again, Poe still keeps P5 for now from Blizzard. How long is it before there's going to be a misery? Again, Poe nearly lost it around turn 4. Then if Blizzard accidentally snagged him for around turn 4, but Poe again literally under immense pressure, and he's doing well so far just to keep Blizzard at bay at the moment. But only will take one mistake or one incident, and that's it. Race over.
These two have to be careful. I can see this boiling over. They're both a bit hot-headed right now, trying to both claim 5th place right now as we head down towards turn 10. Blizzard trying to move up the inside, and he's made contact once again against Poe, and
that's an awful. That is literally not necessary there from Poe.
That's absolutely not what we want to see at all, and I'm quite shameful. I have to apologise for broadcasting that one. But we now jump on board with Jay then, as they're looking to try and lap a Renault. Marquez is then trying to battle away for the podium positions then. And he's done a good job at trying to keep those tyres in check. But I wonder if he's maybe taken a bit too much out of those tyres, actually. As we head through turn 3, onto the AstroTurf a little bit there. But he's definitely catching up to Jay, no problem about that. You can see at the top there, Lambo is actually closing in on Squeezy at the moment. It's only marginal right now, but in these closing stages, that's all you need right now. Marquez is heading through turn 5 as we now head down towards turn 6, as we head through turn 7, and then up the hill through turn 8, and through that long right-hander of turn 9. And Marquez just has to be a little bit careful here. You can see there, he's backing off. Watch the curbing on the exit there, but you can see, even lifting off there, he's able to keep that gap with Jay then. And now coming through turn 10, up through the curbing of 11, then through 12, as we now head through now. This looks like a move that Marquez could make then down the DRS straight then, as we head now through the chicane of 14 and 15. Really setting up Jay here. And I think Jay might be trying to grasp onto this podium for all he can. Marquez then with the DRS open in the slipstream down the start finish straight then. Battle for the podium as Jay looks to the right hand side. Marquez tries to go even more to the right hand side along the pit exit line, and Marquez makes a fantastic move for turn 1. That's what we want to see. And through turn 3 then he's able to hold on, and up to the podium positions he goes.
Great move there from Marquez there. He knew he had to capitalise on those soft tyres as much as he can. Obviously, lighter fuel loads at this stage, you know, you can benefit of making the tyres last just a little bit more easier than it is at the start of the race. And obviously, as I said, Kieran, obviously the conditions here on track, obviously no sunny Spain, more overcast. So obviously the track conditions may be working more in the favours of the soft runners as the track starts to cool down a bit, and compared to the mediums, which will just be struggling just to keep the temperatures up. So keep an eye on Marquez's. He might even get attacked for Lambo very shortly if he keeps up at this rate.
Absolutely, and like you were saying there, Steph, with the track temperatures going down, it's going to be a little bit harder to keep the tyres in temperature. But those on the medium tyres, and maybe arguably Marquez towards the end of the race, they might suffer from graining, where the tyres start to cool down and blistering starts to form in that way. So they've got to be careful towards the end of the race. There might not be as much grip as they thought as we head to the closing stages. 4 laps to go then. Squeezy leads from Lambo. Then it's Marquez's, Jay, Blizzard, White, Spike, Dave M, Blighty, Mays and Alan Kay, who's just outside the points.
Indeed. Marquez is then literally pressing on as much as he can. Obviously Jay still not that far away, still keeping within distance of him, just within DRS range. So obviously maybe Jay's just letting Marquez know, knowing that he's going to be on the back foot literally within a lap or two. So obviously, because obviously where Marquez picked about lap 19 to 20, so respecting obviously the softs just to start to maybe lose performance within either at the end of this lap or next lap maybe, depending on how much Marquez has actually pushed. But so far though, Kieran, he is still keeping up with pace and he is closing in on Lambo.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the gap is 2.4. It was 2.6 a lap ago, so the gap is coming down, but not quick enough. However, there is the subject of penalties. You can see the top 3 there in one picture. Squeezy recently picked up a 3-second time penalty. Marquez has at least 2 penalties. Lambo, I'm unsure of. So this top 3 will be decided at the checkered flag. Marquez has to try and get away from Jay, because at the moment he's going to finish all the way down in 4th place. Yellow flag's in sector 1. I don't know whether that's Alan Kay. Alan Kay has lost it. That is... just trying to see, that's through turn 3, and he's sort of stuck in no man's land right now.
Yeah, he's inside of turn 3.
As he's actually retired from the session. So that is a shame there. And the car's parked in the middle of the track. Ooh, and Mays has collected him. His own teammates collected him. And of course, when you retire, you're responsible for where your car is parked, even when it's under an AI.
Got brake damage.
Oh, he will not be happy with that. Well, that is an unfortunate one, but under the rules, you're responsible for your AI car if you decide to retire, and that could be a trip to the stewards between the Renaults.
Oh, not what the Renault boys wanted. Obviously, Alan dropped it on the exit into turn 3 on the inside, and obviously, presence of an AI, that unfortunately Mays there. Maybe didn't see it at the last minute, and obviously the teammates hit each other. It pretty much reminds me of an episode of having teammates at war with each other. Obviously, looking at the old famous battles throughout the F1 careers of anyone, Kieran. Looking at the likes of Adam Cross, Senna, obviously when them 2 were teammates, and Nixon is starting doing out against each other. And obviously like Nelson Piquet and Nigel Mansell. And obviously like Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. You know, there are so many famous names in there you can pick out with like teammate rivalries. You didn't get on well when obviously having a little bit of fights and ding-dongs.
I think that is whether Mays decides to submit a report, maybe between teammates. Sometimes the investigation doesn't go ahead, but it is a possibility. Mays has to come back to the pits, then he'll put on a set of super softs. Dave M also comes into the pits for a set of super softs, no doubt to try and set the fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately for him, no point for that just yet. But interestingly here, Spike is trying to close in on White towards the closing stages of this race. And well, Spike here, obviously having to battle away for 6th place. But Squeezy now making his way through the final couple of corners, through 14, then through 15, and as we make our way now,
this is very close on Lambo.
He absolutely is. But remember all those penalties he's got. There goes Squeezy to come through. He will start the final lap of the race in the lead as Dave M moves up to 8th place, and well, that might be where he stays. Squeezy then heading now down towards turn 1. As he looks to try and keep control of this car. As you can see, the sun just poking through towards the end of this race now. It might not do a lot to the track temperature, but I'll tell you what, Marquez here is right behind Lambo as we now head towards turn 4. And remember those penalties he has. This won't be done on the track. This will be done with the penalties.
Spike's going to go on White. Spike's going to go on White, turn 1. Ooh, looks like they're locking up there just to keep away from the white there taking the line. But he was going for the move on the inside of turn 1, but it's like cool not to take that opportunity on the overtake there.
Absolutely. Here comes Marquezes then as they head through turn 9, now coming down towards turn 10.
Last chance for Marquezes.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be last chance saloon. He's treating it like it. Oh, he's collected Lambo. I don't believe it.
No.
Collected Lambo. And that will be a trip to the stewards if he doesn't give that position back. Last chance saloon.
Jay can actually take both positions here out of these two because these two collected each other, depending on the damage.
Well, Squeezy then is going to go through for a faultless Grand Prix then. He rounds the final corner. It's going to be Squeezy who wins here in Catalonia. 4th race win of the season for Squeezy. And Lambo here is going to take 2nd place. Jay in 3rd. Marquezes then in 4th place. He ran out of fuel, but I don't think that's going to be his finishing position. Blizzard then coming towards the line. He's going to finish in 5th place there. As White then coming across the line. He's going to stay ahead of Spike on track. What about in the points there? As whoa, that's a Mercedes going off. But Spike actually gets him ahead of White then on penalties. White had a 5-second stop go that he had to make in the pits, or speeding in the pit lane I should say. Dave M then making his way now down towards turn 10. And it's been a decent day for the Haas driver. And it's good, valuable points for himself and the team with Lighty behind. And Mays then is going to round off a day for Renault. They're going to get 1 point at least. But what about that story developing there?
As well.
And let's have a look at Dave M. Can he get the fastest lap of the race? I wonder as he makes
has.
his way
Yes.
around the final corner. No extra point for him, but he will finish in 8th place there. And Lighty coming around the final corner to collect the final lead lap position. But with his 4th race win of the season, he made it look easy. Squeezy takes the win here in Spain. There they are then, the top 3, with Squeezy taking his 4th race win of the season. Lambo finishing in 2nd place there, and with Jay getting up onto the podium. Marquezes running out of fuel on the last lap, but that's not the end of it. We've had an action-packed, highly dramatic Grand Prix for all the right and all the wrong reasons. And I believe it's going to be quite a busy stewards room tonight.
Oh, indeed. I wouldn't like to be in the stewards room for that one for sure, Kieran. But obviously, for us, it's like, entertainment galore. For the drivers, it's just a bit of a headache. So, with the unofficials then of the official results, we've got Squeezy then in P1 with Lambo P2, Jay in P3, Marquezes in P4 with Blizzard there in P5, Spike in P6, White in P7, Dave M in P8, Lighty in P9, and Maze there in P10 there. Obviously, Alan K, Poe, Laronik, Senki, Ellie, and Damien B there all retiring from the race.
And what a season it's shaping up to be for Squeezy. Win 4 out of 5 for him. That's quite an impressive record. 80% of the races so far have been won by Squeezy. He's putting his foot down and in a way trying to dominate this season. And you know what? I think he's setting an early marker here as we head towards... Oh, what's your favourite track again, Steph? That's right, Monaco.
No, I wasn't you going to say that, Kieran. Of all the times, I was thinking, do not say that, because I know what the next race is going to be.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And I was saying, I wish that was the race you joined me for, because, it wouldn't have stopped.
Well, you never know. Oh, yeah, you never know. I might be able to join you. Depends if I am free on Tuesday.
Well, obviously we've got Commentators Corner coming up. We're going to give it a little bit of a couple of minutes just for everyone to calm down, including ourselves. Great race, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Tuesday. That is the Monaco Grand Prix. You can tune in at 7:55 GMT. You can join myself for the Monaco Grand Prix. As it stands, it's just myself. Don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell for some other series running. Tomorrow night we have TTFL. Make sure you join Andy in the commentary box for that one. Also on Saturday we have TT Project Cars. You can also join Andy in the commentary box for that one. The Formula C cars will be lapping in the sprint race and the feature race. Make sure you go follow them at TT underscore PCars on Twitter. And also we have TTL F2. You can join Kat and Jack for that one as they head to the commentary box once again on Sunday night. All of that to come this week alone, so a lot of racing to pack in on all these days. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you do follow this league on Twitter at TTL underscore F1. You can follow me if you like whilst you're there at KSMCG F1. Steph, you have no online presence, that's right, isn't it?
Indeed, no online presence for me whatsoever. Just myself.
Fair enough. Well, if I could promote you, I would. But I'm afraid I can't. But yeah, Monaco Grand Prix. Obviously, a lot of overtakes made today that probably wouldn't even exist at Monaco. And what on earth Marquez was thinking, I have no idea towards the end of that race. Anyway, we have Commentators Corner coming up in a separate stream. Make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss it. I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been Steph Seymour.
We'll see you in Commentators Corner in a couple of minutes' time.
Stay tuned.